Hey, welcome back to my shop. This week's video is another tool chest restoration. I actually don't know if I'm going to restore this or not, or just clean it up and service it. I've been doing a lot of toolboxes lately because I need them to store my ever-growing tool collection. And I found actually this and another one almost just like it, except for it's got the door down here, Proto. I'm not sure the vintage, probably 70s, 80s, I'm guessing. Pretty decent shape, just dirty, so we're going to get it cleaned up and then see where we go from there. You can see it's got some stickers and writing on it. That should all clean up fine. These here are for a handle, which is actually in one of the bottom drawers. I was happy to find that. The drawers have been protected with carpet, probably since new, because they're stuck in there pretty good. And that's a good thing, because that means there should be hardly any damage done to the bottom of the drawer. You can see they're in really good shape. Yeah, it's pretty easy. So all I'm doing is I pull it out as far as it'll go, and then I move it back in just a little bit, and I put this small flat blade screwdriver in there just to kind of pry it over this tab sticking out. This one's got a piece of steel pipe in the bottom. It's wedged in there pretty good. Well, let's see what kind of treasures. There's always something back here. Most time it's a mouse nest. Well, that's old. 1990. This is a RJR tobacco form dated October 1985 for material requisitions. Snap-on tools. This is printed in 1983. So for these, I find it's easier just to bend that tab in. And then when I go to reassemble, I just take my screwdriver and pop them out a little bit. And these need to come out because you can see all this. This is just old dried grease, and it really makes them tough to slide. So these need to come out and get a good cleaning. I'm going to get all this put into the ultrasonic cleaner. I've got my parts loaded down in here. I'm going to be using this Zep industrial purple degreaser. I like this stuff. It works really well. So I'm going to add probably about 24, maybe 30 ounces of cleaner in with the water. Set my temperature to 60 degrees Celsius, which is about 140 degrees. 25 minutes. See what we're dealing with. Oh yeah. It'll loosen all that old grease up real good. Look at that. Just going to give them a light brushing and then rinse them off. All right, got everything wiped down, got all the grease off. You can see how much I still was pulled out of there. It looks like somebody's been cleaning their ears, huh? So I've just got some number 2 steel wool because it forms really nicely into the channel. And I'll just rub these down, make sure they're good and smooth. All right, I'm pretty happy with how these came out. So they're good to go until we're ready to reassemble. So I'm trying to figure out where I want to go with this restoration, cleanup, whatever you want to call it. And you can see the color difference. I hope the camera's picking that up. It looks like it is. I'm going to try and polish this with some car polish. So doing it by hand was having no effect on the color whatsoever, so I thought I'd try the pneumatic polisher, and this cutting compound is just too light. It's not doing anything to it. But I will tell you this, it cleaned it very well, and it's very smooth. I may just have to live with that color. I'm going to do the whole drawer front, and I'll come back. Tell you what, I'm kind of digging that. It's a huge difference between this and this. This one's not been polished, this one has. So yeah, I'm definitely just going to stick with cleaning and polishing and waxing the whole cabinet. Well, I've tried a couple different polishes, and I went and got another one the other day. It's another Turtle Wax product. It's their Hybrid Solutions Pro. This is what I've settled on because it's more liquidy and it's easier to apply with the pad, and I switched to an orange pad, which is a little more aggressive. So yeah, I'm just going to get the rest of these drawer fronts polished up, and then I'll get to work on the case. And you know, once again, I'm not going to paint. We're going to leave a little bit of patina in this one. Again, not bringing any of the paint color back, but boy, it sure is putting a nice luster to it. It's cleaning it really well. It's slick. I like it. And I'll wax these when I'm done with this part. I got all the polishing done, so now I'm just going to hit it with some wax. I like to use this Meguiar's Gold Carnauba wax. All right, looks like it's hazed up enough to start getting the wax off. Okay, for the badge here, I've got this chrome plating. It's peeling off. So I think what I'm going to try to do is just sand this border and sand this smooth, and then see if I can paint it with some chrome paint. I'm going to use a rubber mallet and hope I don't mar up the surface. So I'm going to go ahead and get the wheels off, get these things cleaned up. Here's the cool thing, is found right here, made in USA, $385. So I was pretty close on the guess of the 80s. So definitely made in 1985. I'm just going to be trying a different combination of cleaners. I've got some acetone, some Goo Gone, some mineral spirits. I did a little testing over there, and it looks like the acetone is not taking the paint off. And that appears to be the strongest cleaner of these three. So I'm just going to work around the cabinet and just get as much cleaned as I can. For the side of the cabinet, I'm just going to continue working to get these stickers and this residue off. I'm going to be using some acetone and some Goo Gone. All right, I had one final product I wanted to try, which is crud cutter, and I just keep that mixed up in a bottle. And I was a little nervous about trying it because the last time I used it on a toolbox, it took the paint off. But it actually seems to be working, so I'm going to keep working this spot. Now you're still going to see where the sticker was because of the fading difference, but I just want to get this adhesive off of here. All right, that worked. All the adhesive has gone off of this spot, so I'll work on the other two off camera now. All right, I was able to get, I believe, all the residue off. There may be just a hair left on here, but it's pretty smooth. Took a toll on the paint. I went ahead and cleaned the whole top with crud cutter for the whole side. Now I'm going to get some polish on it and see if I can bring some of this paint back. Okay, that's the whole side polished here. You can still see some of the scratch marks from the steel wool, but short of wet sanding this, and we're just completely redoing it. I think that's about as good as it's going to get. I'd love to hear from you guys. What would you have done differently? Leave in the comments. All right, I've got the right side done. You saw that. I didn't show you the process, but the top is done. I cleaned it a couple times with actually 4/0 steel wool and crud cutter, polished it twice with the pneumatic polisher, and then put a good coat of wax on it. So it's about as good as it's going to get. These are the bolts and nuts off the wheels after they've been soaking in evaporust for, I don't know, probably 2 or 3 days. My Vaporus is old, so I tend to leave things in there a little bit longer. So I'm just going to get them dried off, cleaned off. I've rinsed them. Okay, for the casters, there were 2 stationary and 2 swivel casters. And these things were so dirty and so packed full of nastiness, I went ahead and put them in the ultrasonic cleaner. They're a little bit pitted. I guess this is like a zinc coating on here. I'm not going to do anything with that since I'm not repainting the cabinet or anything, trying to leave it sort of original. I'm just going to repack these ball bearings, and then I want to get these loosened up to where they work. Let's keep working that in. Works pretty good now. All right, it's time to get the drawer slides put back in. And if you remember, I pushed in a lot of these, so I'm going to just give them a little pull out real quick. And I'm only going to be using 3-in-1 oil on these. I'm not going to put grease in there. So I'll put a little bit of oil in this track, and then I'll put it in this track for the top. First thing I'll do is pre-lube the slides. Get my drawer liner that I've cut installed. Hey, so what'd you think about the Proto tool chest cleanup? I decided not to do a complete restoration and strip and repaint this one. It was a lot of work to get it to where it looks like now. Not quite as much as stripping and repainting, but still it was a lot of work. But you saw I got all the drawer slides clean, cleaned up the handles, cleaned up and re-greased the wheels so it slides really smooth, reinstalled the handle. Man, this thing's just awesome. Can't wait to get it in the upstairs part of my shop and start putting some of my tool collection in. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you on the next one.